guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some tips and tricks that I have for online school, as well as kind of going through how I am preparing for online school, because I know so many of us are going to be in online in the fall. I know some people are going back to in-person school, but if you're like me and you have to do school online, I have some tips for you. So I'm actually going into my freshman year of university, so I will be doing my first semester, potentially first year, I don't know, we have to see how things go, online. So I've been kind of doing certain things to prepare for that may be different than how you planned to prepare for like in-person classes. I've actually done a lot of online classes when I was in high school, so I do have a lot of tips and tricks to share with you guys. So if you're in high school or middle school as well and you want some tips for online school, I definitely got lots of tips for you guys as well. Most of these can generally apply to like any level of education. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking because that was a very long intro, and we'll just get right on into the video. Okay, so the first thing that you need is obviously pretty self-explanatory, but you need something to do your schoolwork on, especially now that you're online. So I have the MacBook Air, and personally I think it's great because it's not too big, so it's perfect to take to like a coffee shop to study, or to the library to study, or anything like that. So that is the laptop I use, and obviously it's pretty self-explanatory that you do need some kind of system to do your schoolwork on, whether you have Zoom lectures or just other things that you need to do. A lot of like online tests and stuff only work on computers, at least that's what I found, so I recommend trying to find something like that. But the other thing that I suggest is also getting a mouse as well. Usually these aren't terribly expensive, and I'm like pretty used to like using my mouse pad, and like I'm pretty like adjusted to it. Like I don't normally use a mouse, but when you're doing online school and you're on your computer like all day every day, it can get really annoying to not have a mouse. So get a mouse. You will thank me for this later. And yeah, mine is just a Bluetooth one, which is really nice because then you don't have all the cords, but you can also get one with a cord and things like that. And yeah, these two things are most definitely essential. Okay, now that you kind of have like your essential school supplies out of the way, those are basically the only two things that you need for school supplies, unless you want like notebooks and things like that. But those are the only two things of supplies that you like need. So now for like a little bit of advice and tips and things like that, find a place that you enjoy studying that is not your house, because when you do online, you get really sick and tired of your house. Trust me guys, I have done completely online before, and sitting at your house all day every day can really suck. So I recommend finding a couple good coffee shops that you like, or whether that be like your public library or anything like that. I personally love going to study at the public library. I would sometimes go and just bring all my school stuff for the whole day and like set up at my public library, and it'd be great because you would get so much more work done, and you don't really get distracted, so it's awesome. So this next tip is probably honestly one of my biggest ones for anybody who is going into online school, and that is to set school times for yourself. So I know for my university classes, they have like specific times designated to them, but if you are in like high school or middle school or anything like that, your classes may not necessarily have set times that the class runs for, and you just need to watch the videos or do the work by a certain date or something like that. I know that that's how it worked for the end of my high school when everything shut down because of COVID in March. That's how it worked. So if yours is also like that, you need to set times to do school, and you don't have to wake up at 7. You can be like, okay, I'm gonna do school from like 9:30 to 4, or like something like that, depending on how long it takes you to do your work. It probably wouldn't take you that long depending on your classes, but you know what I'm saying. Like set times to do schoolwork like you would in a normal school day, because otherwise you won't start school, if you're like me, till like 7 p.m. and then it'll be midnight and you are dying because you don't want to be doing schoolwork anymore. So set your school time, still set an alarm and keep a decent sleep schedule. Wake up at the same time every day, even if it's not super early. Wake up and go to bed at the same time every day. And also, this one was my biggest tip when I first started online, is still get up and do your morning routine, which includes like getting dressed and stuff. Like you don't have to put on jeans or like fancy clothes or things like that, but get dressed into something that is not the pajamas that you slept in. I at least find for me that I am so much more motivated to get work done when I'm not in my pajamas. If I'm in my pajamas, I'm like in rest mode, and I never get anything done. So if you are also like that, I definitely recommend getting dressed. I would get dressed every single day of online school, and it definitely helped my productivity, and it was such a small thing. Okay, so I know a whole bunch of YouTube videos you've probably seen and probably for a variety of reasons have told you to make your bed, but I kind of have a different reasoning for why you should make your bed when you are in online school. So for me, when I do schoolwork in my bed, I don't get schoolwork done. I get distracted on my phone, I get distracted on TikTok, all that stuff. So I try to keep myself away from my bed as much as possible. So if I make my bed, that usually works because I literally never want to go in it after it is made. I'm like, I spend all that time making my bed, I have it all pretty, and if I get in it, I'm gonna mess it up. So if you make your bed, you will probably be a lot less likely to try to get back in it and get distracted from your work. I found that that at least has worked for me in the past. Another suggestion that I have is to try to make friends in your classes anyway, because if you don't understand something or you need extra help with something, it is still great to have people that you can text even if you are online, and they can explain things to you. And you're probably wondering, how am I going to meet people in a Zoom class, especially if I'm like a freshman in high school or if I'm a freshman in university like I am. And personally, I found for me, especially if you are in university, you don't even have to be like a freshman, like any year of university, there's so many Instagram pages. I did not know how many Instagram pages there were for university. There's like confessions pages for your university, there's like specifically for your graduating year confessions pages, there's like 2024 like science people, 2024 like nursing Instagram page, like there's an Instagram page for everything. And if you just follow all those Instagram pages and then you follow like everyone that follows those Instagram pages, you make a lot of friends. And I'm already in like 4 group chats right now, and I've already met a lot of great people that I have classes with, and classes don't even start for like another month and a half. So that's always great. So if you are struggling to make friends in online classes, because I know it can definitely be difficult, I recommend trying to join some group chats, because everybody else is in the same boat and they're worried about making friends online and things like that. So I definitely recommend giving that a try, because then you can have some people to help you if you need help, and if you, when you actually like go back to in-person school, you're not totally alone and you actually already know some people, which is great. And the last tip that I have for you guys is to have a designated school space. So for me personally, that was my desk right here. And on my desk, I had literally everything that I would need. Pens, pencils, highlighters, my notebooks, all that stuff, my laptop, everything that I would need for online school, because the more you are getting up and walking like to the kitchen for snacks or for drinks or to get a pen or to get paper, the less work you're gonna get done, because you know you're gonna get distracted on the way. You're gonna find someone in your house to talk to on the way to the kitchen, or like see your phone, or see that somebody texted you, or things like that. So I just recommend having a space and designating it as your workspace for like the entire time you're in online school, and that is where you always do your schoolwork. And it will also help because after a very long time of you, not a very long time, but like I would say like a couple weeks of you designating that as your study space, when you sit down in that spot to do schoolwork, you will be so much more productive. It's like the exact same reason why you can't be productive in your bed, because your brain has associated that space with like sleeping and relaxation. But if you associate a space with productivity and things like that, you'll be way more likely to be productive there. So that's what I recommend. If you don't have a desk or anything, I recommend getting one of those lap desks. Usually they're not that expensive and they are really nice. You can usually get pretty cheap ones, and they're great if you're in online school and don't really have a desk. But I do recommend getting some sort of space where you can kind of sprawl out and do all of your work. Okay guys, so that is going to be all for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope some of these tips are able to help you if you are starting online school in the fall. I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!